Hey guys, welcome to this week's video of tips and tricks. In this series, I go through my old videos and I give you guys some tips and tricks on stuff that I would have done differently or how I did some specific things. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Also, a lot of people be asking me why I put a hat on when I do these videos. It's cause your boy hasn't gotten a haircut since November. So this is why I do this. And so it can stay up. So we're gonna start with Icon's Goodbye Road, which was performed by DBJ, which is also the dance crew that I did last week with Oh My 17. So we're gonna get to it. Also, before we continue, I had some people ask me what type of equipment I used. So I currently use, during that time, I used a Zhiyun Crane 2. This is a gimbal, motorized gimbal, and I just had this. I didn't have the handle, so I would just hold it like this, and I would just move it and stuff like that. If you don't have a motorized gimbal, I would recommend you use just any stabilizer, any handle, top handle, side handle, and make sure you don't hold the camera while you use the handle. You just want as much weight on the top or bottom of your camera to maximize your stabilization. You can always add stabilization in post-production. If you don't have any top handles or anything like that, you can just use a tripod and mimic effects of movement through keyframing, zoom in, scaling, rotating, and all of that in post-production as well. So we're gonna continue with this video and go straight into Goodbye Road. Okay, so for this part of the video, I didn't know what went wrong when I did the overlay. So the part that is like a bunch of white, that wasn't supposed to happen, but I just didn't know how to change it, so yeah. Okay, so one of the most prominent things that I had trouble with during this shoot was the knowledge of the environment which we were shooting in. So I used an ND filter, which I probably shouldn't have, but it was very foggy, it was very cold, and I just didn't prepare enough for that kind of condition. So basically my lens would just keep fogging up and I would keep wiping it and it would just ruin the shots. And I think if I were to do this differently, I would definitely have maybe waited for another opportunity or just rain check this shoot, because it was, I mean, Goodbye Road is a little sad and like sad boy kind of vibes, but I think it was too much fog. Yeah. And also I shot this video in 1080p, in the previous video, how I mentioned that I think it's a better thing to shoot in higher resolution as you can, 2K or 4K, considering you're gonna zoom in a lot in your post-production. And the color as well, similar to last video. I think the main problem I had during the shoot was the lack of consistency within the different clips, and that was because of the fog, and we kept having to stop and go just when I had to wipe my screen, so that's why the weather changes a lot. However, if I ever got the chance, I would love to shoot this video again. I think it would turn out a lot better. I mean, it still turned out really well for my second K-pop video ever. Again, I used the same tactics as I did last video, which was basically putting on a 4K grid or a grid, which I was separating into 4 sections, and then I center all the shots. I remember there was like one shot coming up, and I was obsessed with this shot. Even like to this day, it's such a beautiful shot. It just shows off the UMass campus without showing off the construction of our student union. And I wish I kept this color consistency within the video. Oh, here. Like this scene. Also, there's a part where I did the same, my backlight just died, but I do this kind of effect where, yeah, here. So I did this by running around like the shot that I did in the OMI 17. So that was just achieved by going around. I put the camera extremely low this time, and I basically made everyone look a little bit taller. Like I said in the previous video, people will appreciate you for that. And so I made my gimbal. So there's an undersling mode where you just basically turn it over, and then you can use it like this, and then the gimbal faces up, and then you just hold it like this. But because it was really foggy and it was really slippery, I just could not get a stable shot really well. But I did manage to fix a lot of that in post-production. So don't get like this. So don't get discouraged if you shoot it wrong or shoot a lot of stuff differently. You can fix a lot of them in post-production, but naturally you would want to get everything that you can in camera, because how I like to think about it is that your post-production is an extension of what you can create in camera. Also, the last frame, you can see how they like stop moving. I actually just added a frame hold because people moved before I gave enough time, and that was honestly my bad. Usually whenever I start shoots now, I usually tell people anyway throughout the video, if you guys mess up, stop the video immediately, because it would just make me more tired, it would make the other dancers more tired. And usually in the end, you just freeze your position until I say cut. So I think if you do that, you can maybe take less takes and have your shoot run a little bit more smoothly. And so that's the end of that video. So recap for this video. Again, there's a lot of similar things that I would have personally changed. So for example, this shoot was outdoors, so definitely check the conditions and see if you can actually shoot in those conditions. Sometimes if your camera gets damaged or anything like that, that's on you. Also, make sure when you do film and stuff, make sure you have consistent colors between your clips. For example, if I were to shoot this again, those shots that the colors didn't really match up because of the weather change, because we had to take time to warm up and my hands were freezing. I had to take time to wipe my lens, so a lot of that time made the weather shift a little bit, and it was just, that's why there was such drastic changes between the clips. Also, I remember that day it was gonna rain, but it just didn't rain. It was like drizzling a little bit and there was a fog, and I think it was just definitely should have just been a rain check. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you guys learned something from it, and make sure you tune in for next week's video. So in next week's video, I'm going to be going through Hans by G-Idols, which was the first project that I worked in 4K, and there were some things that I definitely would want to fix in that video. So make sure you guys tune in for next week's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe below. I'm going to leave DBJ's information below, as well as the link to the original video, and I'll see you guys next week.